Good morning students. So this is class 11th physics chapter number 6 and I'll be discussing the homework solutions of lecture number 4 plus I'll be discussing some extra difficult questions also because your chapter was completed yesterday, so you have to do now all the questions. Okay, so first I am discussing question number 8. It says in an elastic collision of two billiard balls, is the total kinetic energy conserved during the time of collision of the balls, that is when they are in contact? See, in elastic collision, kinetic energy and momentum remains conserved, but the kinetic energy which remains conserved is that kinetic energy before collision is equals to kinetic energy after collision. Okay, so we are talking about before collision and after collision. So during collision, that is when the balls are in contact, at that time kinetic energy will not remain conserved, so the answer will be no. Okay, so the second part says, is the total linear momentum conserved during the short time of an elastic collision of two balls when they are in contact? So its answer is yes, because your linear momentum always remains conserved either before collision, either during collision or after collision. Okay. C part says, what are the answers to A and B for an inelastic collision? See, because the collision is inelastic, that means kinetic energy will not remain conserved. So the answer will be no. And because your linear momentum remains conserved, so the answer would be yes. Okay, so answer would be no for kinetic energy and yes for linear momentum. Okay. Next part says, if the potential energy of two billiard balls depends only on the separation distance between the balls, is the collision elastic or inelastic? And it is also given a note that we are talking here about potential energy corresponding to the force during collision, not gravitational potential energy. Okay, so this collision would be elastic because the forces which are involved are conservative forces. Okay, and as I told you, in elastic collision, conservative forces are included. Next is question number 16. It says two identical ball bearings in contact with each other, these two, okay, and resting on a frictionless table are hit by another ball bearing of the same mass moving initially with the speed v. That means balls 2 and 3 are at rest initially and ball 1 is moving with the speed v towards them. Okay. So the question says, if the collision is elastic, which of the following is possible result after collision? So you are given three conditions here. First condition, in which first ball comes to rest and 3 balls start moving with the velocity v. Second condition, in which 1 and 2 ball come to rest and 3 starts moving with the velocity v. And third condition, in which all the 3 balls start moving with the velocity v by 3. And sorry, this is v by 2. Okay. So it is asking which is a possible result if the collision is elastic. So see, we have two things, momentum and energy, but momentum remains conserved in inelastic as well as in inelastic collision. So let us talk about energy, because out of these three, in which the kinetic energy will be same as that of initial kinetic energy, that will be your elastic collision. So let us calculate initial kinetic energy first, because these two are at rest. So its initial kinetic energy would be half mv square. So this is before collision. Now after collision, let us discuss about first case. This comes to at rest and these two are moving with a velocity v by 2. Let us suppose both have mass m. So the kinetic energy would be half into m plus m into v by 2 whole square, that is v square by 4. So when you will solve it, you will get 1 by 4 mv square. So see, this energy and this energy are not equal. That means this is not a possible result of elastic collision. Okay, in second part, similarly, 1 and 2 are at rest, only third is moving with v. That means its energy will be half mv square. That means second can be a result of elastic collision. Similarly, if we talk about third, in third, all the three are moving with the velocity v by 3. So the kinetic energy would become half into 3m, because 3 masses are there, into v by 3 whole square, that is v square by 9. So answer will come to be 1 by 6 mv square. Again, this is not equal to half mv square, so this is also not a possible result. So out of these three, second result is possible for elastic collision. Okay, so the next is question number 18. It says the bob of a pendulum is released from a horizontal position A as shown. So this is the bob of a pendulum and it is released here. Okay, so it is asked what will be the, if the length of the pendulum is 1.5 meters, what is the speed with which the bob arrives at lowermost point B given that it dissipates 5% of its initial energy. Okay, so initially your pendulum was at A, it was released here, so it will fall down. So it is asking what should be the velocity at B, and it is also given that 5% of the energy is deleted, or you can say is wasted. Okay, so now clearly see at A, because it is at some height, so its energy would be your potential energy, so that is mgh. H is given to be 1.5, so energy will be 1.5 mg. Mark it 1. Okay, now at B, as it is given 95% and 5% of energy is wasted. That means at B it is left with 95% energy. This is its initial energy. So now the energy left is 95% of this much. Okay, so we know this according to question, but because it is at lowest point, so it would be having kinetic energy here. So let us suppose its v speed is v, so this will be equal to half mv square due to conservation of momentum, because potential energy will just get converted into kinetic energy, right? So from here you will get v is equals to under root of 95 by 100 into 2 into 10 into 1.5. when you will solve it, the velocity will come to be 5.28 meter per second. Okay, so remember this, at lowermost point the pendulum has kinetic energy, and at highest point it has potential energy. Okay, so the next is question number 24. It says a bullet of mass 0.012 kilogram and horizontal speed 70 meter per second strikes a block of wood of mass 0.4 kilogram and instantly comes to rest with respect to the block. That is, suppose there is a bullet which is moving towards a block which is initially at rest. So the mass of bullet is this, speed of bullet is this, mass of your block is this, and because initially it is at rest, so I am taking u2 to be 0. Okay, now what happens when this bullet strike this your box, it comes to rest. That means the block, that is, you can say the bullet will completely go inside the block and it will remain there. So see, you can imagine when it will strike it, where the box will go. So when it will strike it, the box will go upward. So you have to calculate this height. Okay, by how much height will the block will rise. So let us suppose this height is denoted by small h. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll use conservation of momentum and energy, because see, in this the two bodies after collision are moving together. That means they have got stick to each other. So which collision is this? This is an inelastic collision, because as you know, in a perfectly inelastic collision the two bodies get stick to each other. Okay, so now let us use conservation of momentum first. Initial momentum is only m1 u1, because block is at rest, is equals to final momentum, because now both are moving with same speed, so m1 plus m2 into v. So we are assuming it moves with the speed v after collision. So from here v will come to be 2.04 meter per second. Okay, so now if we use conservation of total energy, because kinetic energy won't remain conserved, so we are using conservation of total energy. At this lowest point, when it strikes this lowest point, they were having kinetic energy. As they combine rises to this height, now that kinetic energy will get converted to potential energy. So I am using that conservation momentum. Here the energy would be kinetic energy, that is half m1 plus m2 v square, and at this point m1 plus m2 gh. So from here m1 plus m2 will cancel out, so you will be left with h is equals to v square upon 2g. Now you know v, you know g, so height will come to be 0.212 meters. So this is the maximum height to which the block will rise when the bullet strike it. Okay. Okay, so it has a next part also. It is saying also estimate the amount of heat produced in the block. So see, amount of heat produced in the block is nothing but work done, and work done is nothing but change in kinetic energy. So let us calculate first of all kinetic energy initial, that would be half m1 u1 square because only bullet was moving initially, so that will come to be 29.4 joules. Kinetic energy final is because both the masses stick together and are moving with the velocity v after collision, so that would be half m1 plus m2 v square, that is 0.86 joules. So to calculate work done, just calculate change in kinetic energy, that is kinetic energy initial minus kinetic energy final. See, because here it is also confirmed, because there is a loss of kinetic energy, that means this is an inelastic collision. Okay, so this will give you 28.54 joules. So this work done will get converted into heat, which is 28.54 joules. Okay. Okay, so the next is question number 26. In that it is given a 1 kilogram block attached to a rough incline is connected to a spring of spring constant 100 Newton per meter as shown. That is, this is a block of mass 1 kilogram. Spring constant is given to be 100 Newton per meter, and this block and this spring are attached to each other. Okay, so the block is released from rest with the spring and is in the unstretched position. Okay, so initially it is unstretched, then it is released, and it is given it displaces a distance of 10 meters. Okay, so then it says the block moves 10 centimeter down the incline before coming to rest. Find the coefficient of friction between the block and the incline and assume the spring has negligible mass and the pulley is frictionless. Okay, so for that, let us calculate all the forces acting on block first. Weight would be acting downward, reaction would be acting upward. Okay, so if this angle is theta, this would also be theta. So if you resolve mg, this will be mg cos theta and this would be mg sin theta. Also, the inclined plane is rough. That means there is friction. So this is your friction force which is acting in direction opposite to the motion. Okay, so now if I form equation of motion from here, R will be equal to mg cos theta, and net force with which this block would be moving downward would be mg sin theta minus F, because again the downward direction is the direction of motion, so that will be taken as positive. So mg sin theta minus F is the net force. Okay, so now as you know, force of friction is mu R. Okay, and R just we have written mg cos theta. So when you will write it and you will take mg to be common, you will get sin theta minus mu cos theta inside. Okay. So now as it is given, distance moved by the block is 10 centimeter or 0.1 meters. So as you know, when the spring will get stretched, there will be some kinetic energy in it, which and the displacement is x. So the kinetic energy would be its potential energy. Potential energy would be half kx square, and this potential energy will be nothing but equal to work done, and work done is force into displacement, right? So from here x will cancel out, so you will get k by 2 is equals to mg sin theta minus mu cos theta. Now theta is given to be 37 degree in question, k is given to be 100, m and g are also given. That means from here you can calculate mu, and mu will come to be 0.126. So this is the coefficient of friction for the rough plane. Okay, so next is question number 28. It says a trolley of mass 200 kilograms moves with a uniform speed of 36 km per hour on a frictionless track. So the mass of trolley is this and the speed of the trolley is this. Then a child of mass 20 kg runs on the trolley from one end to other 10 meter away with a speed of 4 meter per second relative to the trolley in a direction opposite to the trolley's motion. Okay, so this is the mass of child and he is moving from one end of the trolley to another end, and the length is given to be 10 meters. Okay, and it is given the relative velocity of the child in a direction opposite to the velocity of trolley is 4 meter per second. That means you are given relative velocity. Okay, so see, you have to calculate what will be the final velocity of the trolley and how much the trolley moved from the time the child begins to run. Okay, so now let us suppose that the final velocity of the trolley is v. So because relative velocity of the child with respect to your trolley is given to be 4, so therefore we can write down v minus u2 is equals to 4, where u2 is the velocity of child with respect to ground, v is the final velocity of trolley, and 4 is given in the question only. So from here you will get u2 to be equal to v minus 4. Okay. So now let us use conservation of momentum. So before child starts running, the initial momentum would be m1 plus m2 u1 because child is on the trolley only. That means both trolley and the child were initially moving with the speed of trolley only. So m1 plus m2 into u1. m1 is 200, m2 is 20 and u1 is 36 km per hour. Convert it into meter per second, you will get 10. So from here initial momentum will come to be 2200 kilogram meter per second. Now for final momentum, see, now the trolley is moving with the speed v and the child is moving with the speed v minus 4 as we have calculated. So 200v plus 20 into v minus 4. So when you will solve it, you will get the answer to be 220v dash minus 80. So because the momentum remains conserved, so just put p1 is equals to p2. So if p1 is equals to p2, that means 2200 would be equal to 220v minus 80. So from here you can calculate velocity, that will come to be 10.36 meter per second. Okay, so after calculating velocity, it is asked how much distance will the trolley move. So just calculate time, that is distance upon speed, that will be 2.5 seconds. So distance will be speed into time. So you will get 25.9 meters. Okay. Okay students, so these were the solutions of your homework plus some extra questions. So now try all these questions once more yourself. Okay. Thank you.